You feel me? Add myself to the stage. Move me to the side. I don't know why they put this on here, but we're not. No, no. But so yeah, I got well, like I said, you know, I'll be having well, a lot of people here. You've seen a lot of the experiences uh that took me in so many different directions, man. It's like, golly, man. So many different directions and so many different understandings to go through when it comes to the psychedelic experience. And to me, it feels like you go through every stage, every belief system stage of that humans have, that we have as humans. You go through every stage, starting from sometimes the one that you're at, which is with me, it was Christianity. It was starting from Christianity, going through Gnostics, not Gnosis, going through Buddhism. Like you go through all these different stages of understanding when you're on the psychedelics, and you don't even know that you're in these stages. You're seeing these things, and then you having a belief system, a certain understanding that you just kind of like, bam, you stuck on that belief system, and you don't notice it until somebody actually opens it to you and say, hey, look, you know, this is what you're saying right here. Like that's how it was with me. I don't know what like with a lot of people, but with me, like that's how it was. It was like every time I got to a certain stage of understanding, somebody would show me what that was, and I'll go look at it, and I'm going, Gnosticism. I'm like, I ain't never heard of that. Like, you know, I knew Christianity, and I knew, you know, Muslims, and like that's about it. And then, you know, now I'm diving into these psychedelics, and it's opening my mind to different understandings. And now I'm saying, okay, dang, okay, I'm into this. Now I'm into that. Oh, you know what's crazy though? Wait, let me show you something real fast, because you just every time you pop in, you say the molecule machine, it works. Let me see if I can. I had just I was searching, and I found a picture of my molecule machine. I said, "Dang, man!" I said, I need to start making them things. You know, I was trying to get this guy to make it for me a long time ago, and then I don't know. I kind of started doing something else. But yeah, we are conscious beings, conscious. We are infinite consciousness having a human experience. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Oh, thank you, bro. But like I was saying, like, okay, I ran across this video because like within my one of my last mushroom experiences, like I seen these certain things, and I was like going, dang, wait, hold on. So it's another entity above the God entity that we actually believe in. I'm like going, you know, it kind of threw me off. And then once I started reading and I started, you know, further researching what I was seeing the monad. And I'm like, the monad, like this is something I never heard of before. You got to understand. And even if I heard it, this is one thing that you got to understand. Like when you consciously aware of things, you'll hear things, but if you're not conscious of it, it'll just go in one ear and out the other. It'll be like you never heard it. You feel me? Until you actually go and you see it for yourself. And then you'll see like, oh shoot, I've been kind of hearing about this, but I just wasn't paying attention because I wasn't consciously aware of it. So it's like now that I'm aware of it, now I'm seeing it in certain things. I'm seeing it in belief systems. I'm seeing it here and there. And like, okay, this is a video that I found on it. And we're gonna dive into this video. You know, what is the monad, the hidden source before creation? And this is on the Hidden Codex channel. And it's crazy because it's like Gnostic wisdom, you know, like I was just saying in the beginning, you go through these different stages of understanding as you're diving in. And a lot of times I don't think we even pay attention to that we're going through these different belief systems that we have as humans, or, you know, and you'll get to talking about it. Like it almost, like in a lot of sense, it made me, it kind of make you think about a lot of the religious beliefs, or even over time, it make you think about a lot of people that took psychedelics and they got to an understanding, and like some of them, they just stuck with that and just kind of, you know, stayed in that understanding. But it's like, it'll take you further. Like, don't, like, that's why I say don't get stuck where you at, because you can go further. And when you go all the way, like it's a never ending story. It's a never ending story. Don't get stuck where you at and think that's the ultimate truth. Always go further. Take yourself further. You know, fight it to push yourself, push yourself to keep going, because you're going to find yourself at the monad, and then you're going to really be like, wait, hold on, which a lot of us has been there already. But let's just go on and dive into the video, and then I could, you know, I can tell you certain aspects of it that I was seeing when I was on my experience. Wait, hold on. Matter of fact, let me do this again, because I don't think let me stop screen share. Let me do it one more time, because I don't think I clicked the so y'all can hear it. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. Now, let's start.
In the beginning, there was not a word. There was not light, not darkness, not even the concept of nothingness. Before the first thought rippled across the infinite expanse, before any god opened celestial eyes to gaze upon creation, there existed only the monad, the one, the absolute.
And that's what's crazy, because, you know, like it's saying, before anything was here, it was the monad. The monad was the thing that was here before we had all these other entities that came in and began to run and create reality.
The source that precedes all naming, all knowing, all being. This is not the God of temples and prayers. This is not the deity of commandments carved in stone. This is the unfathomable mystery that ancient Gnostic masters whispered about in hidden chambers.
And see, that's what's funny, is because in my experience, that's what it was showing me. It was showing me that, okay, God was like a king, like a president, or, you know, somebody that wanted to rule reality. It wasn't the creator of life and all these different things. It was the thing that wanted to create, that wanted to control it. It was like, okay, God found this thing, and then, you know, God was the one that was in it. So God wanted to like actually control this thing. Once even God realized what it was like, oh shoot, if I can control this, and like, it was almost like, okay, if I can't control it, then I will destroy it. Like I'm seeing this like on like 10 grams of mushrooms, and I'm going, wait, hold on, bro. This is kind of wild. Like, what's going on?
Secret so profound that organized religion spent centuries trying to erase every trace of its existence from human consciousness. In this video, you will encounter what the architects of orthodoxy feared most. The truth that before any divine personality emerged to shape worlds and judge souls, there was only the perfect, undifferentiated unity of the monad, and within that unity, you already existed. The Apocryphon of John, a text discovered among the Nag Hammadi library in 1945, opens with words that shatter every comfortable assumption about divinity. The text does not begin with creation, it begins with incomprehensibility itself. The monad is described as invisible, immeasurable, eternal, uncontainable, a reality so complete that it needs nothing, knows nothing outside itself, and yet contains all potentiality.
And that's the David Icke, yeah. That's the trippy part, that, you know, it knows nothing, it's looking for nothing, it's not trying to create nothing, it's just being everything at the same time. That's what I feel like.
Valentinus, the 2nd century Gnostic teacher whose wisdom threatened the very foundations of emerging Christianity, taught that the monad exists in absolute perfection, a state he called the pleroma, the fullness. But here is where the story becomes dangerous to every religious authority that came after. The monad does not create through will or intention. It emanates. Like light pouring from the sun, without the sun deciding to shine, consciousness flows from the monad in cascading waves of divine intelligences called aeons. These are not...
Dang. It just does. It doesn't try to do, it just does.
Separate gods, but facets of the one undivided awareness exploring itself through endless perspectives.
And that's the part. That's one of the parts you get to with psychedelics, you see that whatever this one thing is, that is life, that's what it's doing. It's exploring itself. It's exploring life in every aspect, in every which way. Like every which way a human would be, every which way an insect would be, every like a grain of sand. You feel me? A tree. It didn't matter. A leaf. It didn't matter what it was. It was exploring this thing in all these different ways, like really infinitely.
Imagine standing before an ocean so vast that it has no shore, no bottom, no surface that your mind can comprehend. Now imagine that you are not standing before this ocean. You are a single drop of water trying to understand that the ocean is your true nature.
And that's us. We like that single drop of water. You feel me? Not knowing that we the vast ocean. And like when you that single drop, like you going through all these things, you don't see yourself as the ocean. Like, but that one drop of water is like the whole ocean. We always said that if you take a glass and you dip it in the ocean, you take it out, that glass of water is still gonna be the ocean. It's just because you took it out don't mean that it's not the ocean. The whole ocean is still existing right there in that glass.
This is the relationship between your individuated consciousness and the monad. The early church fathers understood the revolutionary implications of this teaching. If every human being carries within them a spark of the monad, then no intermediary is needed. No priest can stand between you and the source.
Now think about that. If every human being, it didn't separate us like we do, because we go, these people are woke and these people aren't. No, every person on this planet carries that spark of the one thing that's creating everything. We the ones, because we got the God mentality. Remember, I'm trying to tell you, God is like controller, king, ruler. You feel me? We got the God, I call it the God complex. We got the God complex all the time in so many different ways that we try to separate ourselves from other people. And you can't, because it's all part of the same thing. It's all one thing. All people are one thing. Like humans is one human. So it's only one human. That's all of us. We come together, we make up humanity. That's one thing. Zebras, one thing. Remember they showed it on on the one movie with Chris Rock, the cartoon with the zebras in the fucking line trying to escape the zoo. And the lion couldn't tell, once they got over to Africa or whatever, and the zebra got with the zebras, he couldn't tell Chris Rock from all the other zebras at first. And it took him a minute before but it was like, they're all one thing. But we try to create this separation, and this is where we mess up at. That's why we will never be able to come together and be the one thing, because we're constantly creating this separation. They're different from us. They're different from us. I'm on a higher level than them. You feel me? They're NPCs. You feel me? We do this thing right here, not knowing that, hold on, we all part of this one thing. Everybody. It don't matter what part they're playing in it. This is the one thing experiencing itself as an NPC. It still got that spark in them.
No institution can control your access to the divine. No dogma can limit what you might discover in the silent depths of your own awareness. This is why, in the year 325, at the Council of Nicaea, Emperor Constantine and the assembled bishops systematically removed all Gnostic gospels from the canon. This is why the name of the monad was methodically erased from Christian theology.
Because that will make sense, because, once you erase it, like, it helps keep the separation a thing. You feel me? It helps keep, Christians over here and Muslims over here. It's not showing that everything is a part of this one thing. Because you hear people say this. They always say, well, God is everything. And then when you go, well, God was Hitler. No, not that. Well, wait, hold on. God is everything. Is God the devil? No, God ain't the devil. How could he be that? Wait, hold on. God is everything. Is God evil? Is God bad? Nope. You can't say that. Like, come on now, bro. Like we try to have the shit both ways. It's like God is everything, but he's not that. No, if the thing The monad now is just everything, period. You can't divide it or say it's not that, because it's being
Placed with a
everything.
personal God who demands worship, obedience, and most importantly, institutional mediation. The Gnostic
And look, that's the part that I seen on my experience that just had me throw.
The monad was methodically erased from Christian theology, replaced with a personal God who demands worship, obedience, and most importantly, institutional mediation. The Gnostic
That's the part that got me on the experience when I was seeing that that's what God was. God was ruler, conqueror, controller. There's many different names, like the president or dad. You feel me? The one that tried to control reality, that tried to run things, that tried to that's what God was in the experience that I was seeing. And I'm like going, wait, hold on. Like, and then when you think about it, that's what you see. That's what you see. It's like you got to do this. If you don't do this, then this is going to happen. You got to be this, and if you don't be this, then this is going to happen. It's the thing that's always trying to control reality. You feel me? And like it's not hard to see. It's not hard to see because like we see that we like the God position would be like the president of a company. You feel me? The president of the United States. You feel me? It'll be like that position, almost like even like the dad position that we play as dads. We try to be the controller. We try to run things within the house, like and I think there's a connection between that too. I'm gonna have to do something on that too, on the dad and the God thing.
texts that survived buried in clay jars beneath the Egyptian desert for 16 centuries tell a radically different story of existence. In the beginning was the monad, complete and perfect. From this perfection emanated the first aeon, sometimes called Barbello, the mother-father, the first
Now, see, that's something I didn't hear about, the Barbello, the mother father. Barbello.
thought of the unthinkable. From Barbello emerged Christ, not as a man who would be born in Bethlehem, but as a cosmic principle of divine wisdom and illumination. From Christ came
Christ
Sophia, whose name means wisdom, and it is here that the story takes its fateful turn.
Now, this is something else I'll be trying to explain to y'all. You start to see that the different ways, our different belief systems, our different ideas, our different understandings became entities. They became entities to us. We made them into entities. Each understanding that we had, each time we grew within our human consciousness, it became a living entity. It wasn't a belief system. That's the cold thing. That's what's dope about it, is that once you got to a certain point of understanding, that became thought. Once you got to a certain belief, that became Anubis. Each level has its own entity that exists, and that belief within us creates an entity, a living being, a living thing that's within us, running around, getting power from that thing that we believe or that we understand. Like along the way, this is what we did as humans. You feel me? And once we got here where we are, we go, okay, these things are real. We made them real because back then, this is how they name these different ideas and these different understandings that they had. They made them into entities, and now we took them and we said, oh, Christ is real, and we made Christ into a person, because that's the way we looked at these different energies and different things that was going on. That's why we even had something that was controlling the sun. We had Ra controlling the sun. We had Thor and them and Zeus controlling the fucking the electricity, the storms. We had the water god. Each one of these understandings that we came to, we made it into its own entity. But once it became its own entity, it began to live within all of us. And like that's the one thing that we don't be able to kind of let go along the way of our understanding, is each one of these gods were gods that we created. We like these energies that we made into gods. We put them because I always say this, right? Because they say, okay, God made man in his image. And it's like, no, we formed the gods in our image. because the gods didn't have no form. The gods was formless. The gods was just being the water. The God was just being the sun. And we formed it and made it into a human image. And then we began to worship it.
Sophia, in her passion to know and create, emanated without her consort, without the balanced polarity that maintains harmony in the pleroma. From this imbalanced emanation came Yaldabaoth, the demiurge, the false god who looked upon the void and declared, "I am God, and there is no other." This is the deity of the Old Testament. This is
exactly. You feel me? That's the God complex. It's like, it's just me. I control everything. Everybody follow me. You can't follow nothing else. You gotta believe me. And if you don't look, I will destroy it all, and I will build
the jealous
another
God who demands sacrifice and submission. And according to the Gnostics, this is not the true source, but an ignorant archon who trapped sparks of the monad's light within material bodies, creating what we experience as physical reality. But here...
Hey, now, if you really understand what it's saying, it's telling you, the man, the person, I can create a reality, right? And I can trap other people in it. Now, like the United States is its own reality. It's its own beast. I can create that, and now I can trap all the people in it. Now, everybody within the United States is following what? The United States. They believe that this is where they from. This is their country. They will fight for their country. See, I'm telling you this shit. When they talking about shit, bro, they talking about physical shit. They're not talking about entity we can't see, even though it kind of sort of is, but it's not. These are physical things that are happening right now within us. So I like, even a business, I can create a business and get employees, right? And it'll be the same thing. Now they're following my divine word of what to do within my business. I can create a place, and now everybody's following my divine thing of what to do. You feel me? I'm going to tell you, it's a thin line between spirituality and humanity and just being in the physical. It's a thin line. They're both the same thing. They're mirroring each other. So everything that they're saying that the so-called God is doing, this is the thing that's within us that is controlling different people. And it'll control a multitude of people like Christianity does, or any other religion does. Like, it's a thin line, bro. This shit is crazy.
Here's the secret that changes everything. You are not the creation of the demiurge. You are a fragment of the monad itself, temporarily forgetting your infinite nature, playing in the theater of time and space. The Gospel of Thomas, discovered at Nag Hammadi, records Jesus saying, "If you bring forth what is within you, what you have will save you. If you do not have that within you, what you do not have within you will kill you." What is within you? The monad. The undivided awareness that exists before all gods, all forms, all stories. Your true nature.
Which is crazy, right? Because, like, it's telling you, bro, you existed before all this. The thing that's in you that you are existed before anything else was here. Anything. Even though you plan it out right now to be this one little thing. No, you always was this everlasting thing. Infinite, never can die. Always here, always not here. You feel me? This infinite thing. It's like, man, but
it's
it's
not
dope.
The personality reading these words, not the body that will one day return to dust, not even the soul that mystics speak of traversing from life to life. Your true nature is the monad itself, experiencing itself through the temporary lens of individual consciousness.
Which is dope, bro, when you think about it, because you can, like, even here as a human, as what I am right now, I can experience life on a multitude of different ways. I can experience as the gods. I can experience it as the spirits, as the ghosts, as, like, in a multitude of ways. Right here in this body, I can experience life in every which way possible. Like, every which way. This is why we're hey, Vernon, I'm telling you, this shit is deep, man. It's deep, but it's not far-fetched once you start understanding it. Because the psychedelic showed me a long time ago everything that we were ever talking about when it came to spirituality, or it came to religion, or whatever. We was always talking about ourselves. We never was talking about anything outside of ourselves. We was only talking about us and what we can do. You feel me? Like we can explore any reality. We like it's open to us to where from this body I can experience every reality. I can go to any place, any divine place, and I can be there and be able to see it and know what it feel like to be there before I even decide to get there. Because the thing that we are is existing on every plane right now. Like the thing that you are is already existing on every plane. It's like I was trying to explain to my son, it's like a 7-layer cake, right? And you just the frosting on top, and you think you just the frosting, but are you just the cake itself? And you see yourself as the cake, but you don't see yourself as all these 7 layers that's existing in the cake. You feel me? And the 7 layers will be 7 different realities happening at one time. You feel me? And like we can see it like within ourselves. If you look at yourself right now, yourself, the body has layers to it. It has the skin that protects this. It has, when you take off the skin, there's a layer under that. That's a layer under that. That's a layer under that. There's just different layers to even the body itself. So the mind and everything that's there is the same thing, bro. It's like, as they say, as above, so below. They didn't mean as above in the sky, so below on the ground. No. Up here, as it should say, as within, as without. I don't know. They should change that shit, bro. On everything.
Tradition, which emerged from the same Egyptian soil that birthed Gnostic Christianity, speaks of the monad using different language but pointing to the same ineffable reality. In the Corpus Hermeticum, the divine mind declares, "I am the light that is before all things. I am the all came forth from me, and the all extends into me. Split a piece of wood, and I am there. Lift a stone, and you will find me there."
Exactly.
This is not pantheism,
That's what I just
the
said.
belief that God is simply nature.
That's what I just said. And like, see, this is the thing, right? We separate ourselves from everything. You feel me? We can look at science, and science is tell everybody, well, everything is made out of atoms. But then we'll go, okay, we different than the animals. We different than a rock. We different than a tree. We different. And it's like, okay, yeah, to a certain extent we are, but we're not at the same time. Because it's all us. Every aspect of it is us. Beyond, it's like beyond all concepts. So the infinite concepts we're experiencing are like the infinite layers of life. Exactly. And we're experiencing it in all those different, exactly, bro. And we're experiencing it in all different ways, in every which way possible that you can even think of. That's exactly it right there, bro. That's deep.
This is panentheism, the understanding that all existence occurs within the monad, while the monad infinitely transcends all existence. You cannot find the monad by looking at creation. You can only recognize the monad by becoming utterly still, by descending past thought, past feeling, past the sense of being a separate self, into the luminous darkness that the mystic Pseudo-Dionysius called the brilliant darkness of divine.
And that's the part, I don't know. Well, sometimes we call it ego death, or that's that crazy darkness that you get to on psychedelics, where you just become the infinite nothingness. Like, and you don't see life, you don't see anything, because in that space nothing exists. It's just a feeling of everything on every wellness. I don't know what to call it. It's like not even a feeling though, because it's like you don't know nothing, so you just blank. But the feeling is dope. It feels good. It feels like the best thing that ever happened, because nothing is happening. It's not like nothing is happening. It's like the best feeling that isn't a feeling that you can't even kind of explain it. But I call it the triple blackness. We always call it the primordial ooze. You feel me? Because once you get to that triple blackness or whatever, the primordial ooze, that thing is the monad that can become anything. So it begins to create, it begins to form, it begins to do all the things that it's doing right here. And it can be anything. And you looking like, wait, hold on, like this darkness is turning into Egypt. This darkness is turning into different entities. This darkness is becoming all these different things. And once it starts to form, you become the things that it's forming into. See, this is the crazy part, right? That I think we don't see when we're on psychedelics. Because when we have our experience, we always look at the experience as being something outside of what we are, who we are. And it's like, come on, think about it, bro. If you can go into this experience and you can see these things that you're seeing, they're you. It's hard to accept because you never seen these aspects of yourself. You never did know that these parts of you even exist. So once you go in there, you put the experience outside of you, and it's you the one having the experience. You're the one that's seeing the stuff. So it's you. Like, and it's explained in a lot of different ways. Like one day we're gonna get into that, into going over that and the way that Thought and a lot of other people like actually explained it. Like when you're going through the Bardos or whatever, you can't be scared. You got to understand that even if you're seeing something scary, it's you. You feel me? Even if you're seeing this, you got to understand it's you. You can't, but we're not going to look at it like that because we always accept we're the body. We accept that we're just the body and nothing more.
The Sophia Prayer, a sacred invocation rediscovered from ancient Gnostic fragments. More than a prayer, it is an act of remembrance and empowerment, guiding the reader to commune directly with the living presence of the divine in silence, light, and knowledge. Available now as an ebook and audiobook on the Hidden Codex library. Get instant access to 5 complete books and audiobooks so you can experience our app and content. We're offering a 30% discount, plus exclusive bonuses, if you decide to support this unique and pioneering work. Link in the description and first comment.
The mind prison, you trap
In the Jewish mystical tradition of Kabbalah, this same reality appears as Ein Sof, the infinite, the no-thing that precedes the first emanation of divine light into the 10 Sephirot. Before Keter, the crown, the first point of individuated divine consciousness, there is only Ein Sof, boundless and incomprehensible. The Zohar, the central text of Kabbalah, describes Ein Sof as being so utterly beyond all categories.
Hey, it's crazy because even looking at this picture, like the way that I see it is you being this thing up here, and these is all the experience you're gonna have. So, blessed. That's what I said I was gonna do. Like, once I dropped my son off at school, which I didn't take him to school today, I was so burnt from last night because I got home at like 11, and I was like, okay, so Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I'm gonna do an early live, and then Thursday and Friday, I'm gonna do a late live to where after it's gonna be like it's like 10 o'clock. You feel me? So on Thursday and Friday, but between I say 9 and 11, I'm gonna pop in and do a live like Monday through fucking Wednesday, like early in the week. The first 3 days of the week, I'm popping in early, and then on Thursday and Friday, I'm gonna drop one on the late, like after 10 o'clock for everybody. So you feel me? Because I'm trying to pump it up and keep it going. Because I don't know, sometimes I'll just be taking a break, especially when I have like a lot of deep dives. I just kind of take a break. But yeah, I'm always
that even to say it exists would be to limit it. Yet from this absolute transcendence, everything that is, was, or ever will be emerges. The early Kabbalists understood what the Gnostics knew, that creation is not an act of will by a personal deity, but a natural overflow of infinite potentiality taking form.
That's the part that gets me. It's right. That's what you see. It's an infinite flow of shit just happening. But there's always something there that's always trying to control it and have control of it. You feel me? And make it seem like it's the one that's doing it. But no, it's the monad. The monad is creating and being everything at one time. You feel me? That's why I always say, I said, dang. I said, like, think about that. We was always taught about God. And like what we was taught about God was that we had to follow God. We had to believe in what God believed in. And we have to follow this thing, but God created everything to be perfect, right? But it didn't work out that way. So what God say? Okay, I'm gonna wait till this thing get to the end, and then I'm gonna gather all these people, and I'm gonna keep them, and then everything else I'm gonna destroy. You feel me? Like it's like almost like God is trying to control this thing, but God can't control it because it's not God's. It is something else that created this thing. God is the one that tried to come in and take hold of it and be able to control it. Now, if you understand the as above, so below, you will see that happening not only with the God entity, but you'll see that happening with culture, with how we do different countries. You feel me? We have one person that tries to rule a whole country and try to take control of the whole country and say what the whole country should be doing and shouldn't be not doing, but it can't. One, like the president can't control everything. He tries, he speaks like he does, but he don't control what everybody is doing. It's impossible. So the God thing is trying to do the same thing. It's trying to control it all to the point to where, you know, it's trying to, but it can't because it didn't create it. Life was something that was separate from what God actually was. Like, bro, I seen this on the experience and I said, damn, I didn't want to accept it, but I'm like going, I didn't even want to say it because it sounds far-fetched. But when you look at reality, you can see it happening. You can see it happening. Like if I create something, right, and that thing actually, I would have actual some type of control over that thing. You feel me? Like some type of control. But if I just found something and I made it mine, like I wouldn't really even know what it is. I wouldn't even, it's like kind of weird, bro. He said, let's see, that's like Galactus. Watch the Silver Surfer series. It's basically oh dang, was it? I'm gonna have to check that out. I never watched the Silver Surfer series. I feel like everything's been playing out on our side, hidden in plain sight. Yeah, it is. It's right there. It's always been right there.
The Buddhist concept of Dharmakaya, the truth body of the Buddha, points to this same reality from yet another angle. In Mahayana Buddhism, particularly in the Tibetan traditions, Dharmakaya is described as the ultimate nature of all Buddhas, beyond form, beyond attributes, beyond even consciousness as we understand it.
Yeah, beyond any form. Look, now, what I was just saying about the God thing, think about you, right? Think about you and how you're trying to control your body that you really have no fucking control over, but you're always trying to control it. It's as above, so below. Everything that's happening up there is the same thing that's happening down here. Everything that's happening outside is what's happening inside. And we're trying to gain control of this thing that we think is ours, but it's really not ours. The thing is already being what it is. And we're trying to gain control over it because we begin to believe that it's us and that it's who I am. So therefore, now I'm trying to take control over it and make it do what I want it to do. But it's actually just doing what it does. You like, bro.
Is the ground of being from which all appearances arise and into which all appearances dissolve. When you sit in meditation and the chattering mind finally grows quiet, when thoughts slow to a trickle and then cease altogether, what remains? Not emptiness in the sense of nothing, but emptiness in the sense of pure potentiality, pregnant with all possibilities. This is the taste of the monad. This is what the masters of every authentic tradition have pointed toward with different fingers, but the same destination. Now, why did the institutional church work so tirelessly to erase this understanding? The answer reveals the mechanism by which spiritual truth becomes religious control. If you are taught that you are fundamentally separate from God, that you are born in sin, that your only hope for salvation lies in accepting specific doctrines and submitting to ecclesiastical authority, then you can be controlled.
Hey, that's what I was just saying too about like when you think you are separate from everybody else also. Like, so when you think you're separate from God, then you think you're separate from everybody else. That means you don't got to treat everybody the same way. You can treat people differently. You can treat these people bad. You can treat these people good. You feel me? It's another separation being thrown out there. And it's like, dang, everything tries to create this separation, right? That's why we will never be able to come together to be the infinite thing that we're supposed to be. Like, not no time soon. We're not going to be able to because we got too many things pulling you this way, pulling you that way. Like I said, they're NPCs. And let's say they are. They're still part of the monad. They're still part of the infinite being. They're still part of humanity, despite what we want to call them. And that separation, bro, we're going to constantly create that separation in order to make, I don't know if we do it to make ourselves feel better or, you know, than the rest or whatever, but I don't know. It creates a certain feeling within us to make you feel like you better than somebody else, especially them over there when it's a group. You feel me? It's a certain feeling that we get. That's the God complex playing again.
Fear becomes the lever by which your behavior is managed. Guilt becomes the chain that keeps you seeking redemption through institutional channels. But if you realize that your deepest nature is already one with the source, that the monad that existed before all creation is the very ground of your own awareness, then no priest can intercede for you. No church can sell you salvation. No doctrine can limit your direct experience of the divine. You become dangerous, not to God, but to those who claim to speak for God.
Hey, and that's wow, right? Because that's the scary part that I started recognizing with myself the further I started to dive in. Like the further I started to dive in, you don't see me following the script. Because even with psychedelics and the psychedelic understanding, if you think I'm bullshitting you, go and watch. There's a script. It's all fucking scripted. Everybody has to act a certain way. Everybody got to talk a certain way. Everybody got to be a certain way. You feel me? And it like I started seeing that and I'm going, wait, hold on, bro. So I got to do that same thing in order for people to know that I'm a deep diver and I'm a real psychonaut. It took me away from the act and trying to do that thing that everybody else is trying to do. You don't see me doing that no more. You don't see me acting like that, bro. I said, fuck that shit. I said, damn, that's another program. I said, now, in order, like, it's almost like being a Crip or a Blood. You feel me? Now you're a Crip, you gotta be cuz. Now you're Blood, you gotta be blood. It's the same with the psychedelics shit. Now that you're a psychonaut, you gotta learn how to talk like one. You gotta learn how to dress like one, because if you don't, you're not one. And it's like, shit, nah, bro, I'm not following the script no more. That's why I call this shit beyond spirituality. It's the smoke and mirrors, unmasking reality, one trip at a time. Man, I'm switching up on everything because I already see the game that everything is playing. And if you ain't playing the game the way everybody expect you to play, you're not going to be invited to the party. Trust me, you're not going to be invited to the party. If you don't play football and you play basketball, they're not going to invite you to the football party. Even though you understand the fundamentals of football and everything, you can break it down and everything, they're still not going to invite you because you're not dressed as a football player. And I'm starting to learn this and I'm going, damn, I said, so this is what's been going on. Like even the psychonauts, they'll build their whole community and they'll have it. And if you don't speak like them or you don't dress like them or you don't act like them, you're not part of their community. And it's like, fuck, you feel me? I'm like going, damn, it's like a Buddhist monk. Like if you ain't dressing like one and you ain't always in there meditating, then you're not a Buddhist monk. They're not going to look at you like one. You feel me? And it's like, I'm not playing the game no more. Let everybody else play it. I'm going to let everybody else play it and be it. And I'm going to just sit back and watch like I've been doing.
4th century theologian Augustine, whose writings became foundational to Western Christianity, explicitly rejected the Gnostic understanding of the divine spark within humanity. He argued that human nature is totally depraved, utterly corrupted by original sin, incapable of approaching God without the mediating grace dispensed through the Church's sacraments. This was not theology. This was politics. By making the Church the exclusive dispenser of divine grace, Augustine and the other Church Fathers created a power structure that would dominate European consciousness for over 1,000 years. The monad had to be forgotten. The direct path had to be obscured. The radical teaching that you are, in your deepest essence, the very source itself, had to be branded as heresy and burned along with the bodies of those who dared to teach it. But truth, like water, finds its way through every crack. Throughout history, individual seekers have broken through the veils of doctrine and touched the reality of the monad directly. Meister Eckhart, the 14th century Christian mystic, was tried for heresy because he taught that the eye with which I see God is the same eye with which God sees me.
Exactly.
This is pure Gnostic understanding, surfacing centuries after the texts were supposedly destroyed. Eckhart spoke of the ground of the soul, a place deeper than the soul itself, where the individual disappears into the undifferentiated unity of the divine. He wrote, The supreme form of prayer is to the still, silent, pure essence of God, which is neither work nor image, but the timeless monad, in whom all actions are done and all images formed.
The riddle is
For these
Catholic.
teachings, Eckhart was condemned. His books were banned. But his words survived because they carried the resonance of lived truth. In the Hindu tradition,
It'd be weird though, right? Because that's what I was just talking about right there. It's like when you showing something that's outside of, you know, the following of everything, like this is what they do, bro. They kind of ban you within all the shit. They kind of push you away. And they go, you know, like, well, you know, he's not teaching them this, like Christianity, like the Jehovah's Witnesses. That's something that they do. It's like if somebody is not following they stuff right and not, you know, giving it right, then they get banned from the congregation. Like this shit is crazy, bro. This shit is crazy. They get banned from the congregation. You like to where they can't, like everybody in the congregation don't talk to him no more because he's doing this, and this. He's banned from the congregation. He can't come here no more, and nobody can deal with him. You feel me? And this is how, like, in different understandings, even with psychedelics, with spirituality, with all this shit, this is what we actually do. We still do this, but then we'll say we'll see them do it, and we'll say it's wrong, but we'll do the same thing. We'll do the same thing, and then, but we won't see it within ourselves. It's like we can look outside and we can see it happening, and we go, well, it's not supposed to be like, but we'll be doing it ourselves. And I'm like going, damn. I said, man, you know, the further I go, I think I got to seeing too much. You know, because I even getting to the point of understanding that, okay, if reality isn't real, and let's say it is a matrix, your mind making a matrix or whatever, then how could you believe anything within it? How can you accept anything within it as being 100% true? If reality is a matrix, if reality ain't real, how can anything be real in it? You feel me? This means that the mind is actually always creating the reality of it. The mind is doing this, saying, okay, that's real. Like, okay, wait, hold on. Allah is God. I'm okay, bam. And then, oh, Jehovah is God. The mind is always doing this. It's making everything real for you, for the person. You feel me? Because it's experiencing itself. The life is experiencing itself in every which way, which I just think life is just the monad, just experiencing itself in every which way. But if the mind is sitting there always making things real, it's you that's making the shit real. Because nothing would be anything. If we didn't believe this or we didn't believe that, it wouldn't exist in our reality. It wouldn't even exist, bro. It wouldn't even be a thing. If the Christians only follow, look, like if the Christians didn't just follow Christianity or they follow something else, like that's how come they only can see Christianity as being true. They can't see nothing else outside of it. That's how come these people over here can only see that thing as being true and not see nothing outside of it as being true, because we train ourselves to see what and what we want to see. We train ourselves to do that as we going through. And then once we even get an understanding or we're being taught an understanding, we only taught to see that understanding right there so that nothing else exists. Like I always explained it like this: when you go to the lot and they sell you a car you ain't never seen before, you ain't never fucking seen this car, and you like, oh shit, I like that shit, a Toyota Subaru, something that don't even exist. You ain't never even heard of it. It's the Toyota Subarus don't even exist in your mind. But soon as you buy that motherfucker and you drive off the lot, you see them everywhere. Like at first, like when I first got my, like I didn't see nobody with no Ford Flex, and I see one, I buy it. As soon as I drive off the lot and I see everybody driving one, you know what I was saying to myself? This is how stupid we are. We'll go, oh, now that I got it, everybody want to go get it, and it's like, no, dumbass, everybody been having it. You just didn't see it because you wasn't constantly aware of that thing right there. As soon as you get constantly aware of it, you start seeing it everywhere. That, you feel me? Like if you ain't wearing, a certain kind of clothing wear. You feel me? And you go and you buy it. You're going to think you're the only one that got it. Then you're going to see other people wearing it. It doesn't matter with anything. If you even have something that you believe, a belief system that you have, and you think you like me. Once I seen the monad shit, like I didn't know it was called the monad. All I know is I seen the infinite source, and the thing outside of God wasn't it. It was something that was higher than that. And I'm thinking I seen something new. And then bam, it's like, no, that's the monad. And it's like, wait, what the fuck? Like, you feel me? Like, we do this all the time, bro. This shit is crazy. But it's dope at the same time. But if you don't believe me, you'll try it yourself and then laugh once you see it. You're going to be like, what the hell, man?
The Upanishads, composed thousands of years before Christianity, declare with absolute certainty, Tattvam Asi, that thou art. The supreme reality called Brahman is not separate from Atman, your innermost self.
And that's where they get the I am what I am from.
The wave is not separate from the ocean. The ray of light is not separate from the sun. You, in your essence, are the monad.
Hey, that's the part that fucked me up, right? Is I was tripping hard on mushrooms one day, and like I'm watching, like I couldn't see the sun, but you just know the sun is shining, and the sun was shining down, and it was hitting the neighbor's window, and then it was bouncing through the neighbor's window, through the house, off the walls in the house, right? To where it bounced, the light bounced off the walls, and the light bounced showing the stove, and then it bounced like to where it shedded a little bit of light under the stove. And the mushrooms go, that's what you guys are right there. You that little bit of light under the stove. You're not even the ray of light that's coming from the sun. You're not the sunlight itself. You're the light that bounced off of this and bounced off of that and bounced off of that and bounced off of that and bounced off of that. And it's not even the light that's shining under there. It's just because everything is lit to where you can see in that little ray of darkness under there. You feel me? That's still not no type of light, but that's what you are. And it's like, what the hell? Like, what the hell? Like that little ray, like it ain't even nothing shining under there. That's light bouncing off of light, bouncing off of something else. It's not even light. It's not even close to light. Like, I'm just like, man, that shit just had me flabbergasted. I was like, but I can understand it. I'm going, that's why we so far away from the understanding, because we're not even the light. We'll say we are the light, but no, we're not even the light. We're the reflection of light, like a far reflection, though, a reflection that's bouncing off a reflection off another reflection, reflecting off of that's reflecting off of something else, that's reflecting off of something else.
Experiencing itself through the temporary drama of individual existence. This is not intellectual philosophy. This is direct pointing to what you can verify in your own experience when the noise of the thinking mind subsides and the pristine awareness that has always been present reveals itself. So how does one enter the monad? How does the spark remember the source? The ancient Gnostics developed specific practices, and the Gospel of Thomas suggests that Jesus himself taught chosen initiates these methods. The text records Jesus saying, "When you make the two into one, and when you make the inner like the outer, and the outer like the inner, and the upper like the lower, and when you make male and female into a single one, then you will enter the kingdom."
That's hella trippy. Hey, remember, I was just talking about that earlier. I didn't watch this whole video. I always watch like 5 minutes, and then I'll be like, okay, I'm going to just react to that. But this is what I was saying. It's like you begin to start to see that, like I was saying, human is one thing. Even though it comes in male and female, human is one thing, meaning all humans are the same thing. Zebras, all zebras is the same entity. Like when you think of the one entity, all ants is the same entity, whether you want to split them up in species or whatever. You feel me? Elephants, all the same species. You feel me? It's only really one elephant existing, like period. But it split itself into so many different ways. Why? In order to experience life in every way as an elephant. This is the same thing as us. It's really just one person actually living, but split in many different ways to experience life in all these different ways, in every which way. and everything else did the same thing, to where it's actually just one thing being many different things. It's like two, 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 huh? Shit is crazy, bro. But you begin to see it like this, and it sounds far fetched. But once you see it like this, you'll understand it, and you'll go, "Oh shit, all right." So there's nothing wrong happening. It's just this thing experiencing itself in every which way possible.
This is not a moral teaching about behavior. This is a technical instruction about consciousness itself. The dualities that structure your experience, self and other, internal and external, spiritual and material, are constructs of the thinking mind. When these dualities collapse, when the sense of separation dissolves, what remains is the original unity of the monad.
I can't do nothing but laugh, because a lot of I was just talking about that earlier.
Valentinian Gnostics practiced a form of meditation they called the bridal chamber, a mystical union of the practitioner's consciousness with their divine counterpart in the pleroma. This was not a literal marriage, but a psychological integration, a bringing together of the fragmented aspects of awareness into a unified whole. In modern psychological terms, we might call this individuation, the process Carl Jung described as integrating the shadow, anima, animus, and other archetypal contents of the unconscious into a coherent self. But the Gnostics understood that even this integrated self is not the final destination. Beyond the personal unconscious lies the collective unconscious, and beyond that lies the monad itself, the source and ground of all psyches.
It's wild, because it's different levels to this shit as you start to go, and it's weird, because at times it seemed like you're creating the different levels. You feel me? As you go through them, you're creating the different levels as you go. But it's like, you're becoming the different levels. You become each level as you're going through the levels of understanding. When you're diving in, you don't even got to be diving in. Even if you just searching, you begin to become the different levels as you going through them, because you are them already.
All archetypes, all consciousness. The practice begins with stillness. Not the forced stillness of suppressing thoughts, but the natural stillness that emerges when you stop chasing after thoughts and let them dissolve on their own. Sit in a quiet place. Close your eyes. Begin to observe the breath without controlling it. Notice how...
Hey, because when you think about it, right? What do all these things actually need to even exist or be something? They need a body. They need a mind. They need that thing right there in order to see them. Or else they wouldn't even exist. So they need a body, or they need a mind. So all of them begin to exist within the body. The body becomes the ship for all of them, for all these things that are existing. That's what the body actually is. For all these different unseen things to exist, it needs to be a body for them to be seen in. For them to it got to be a vessel. It's almost like us taking a spaceship and going to space. That we need a actual fucking spaceship in order to go to space. In order to be here, you need to come in a certain form. And you feel me? And that form is going to be not just a vessel for the infinite entity that you are. It's going to also be the vessel for a lot of other things that are out there, a lot of other spirit beings or spirit entities that exist within life. This vessel is going to be this body is going to be a vessel for all those also at the same time. It's not just going to be just for you. It's going to be a lot of other entities that's going to jump on this ship and that's going to ride it. You feel me? And then once this ship goes away, what do? Before this ship even goes, like, they're already jumping to another vessel. They're jumping to your kids. That's jumping to their kids. That's jumping to their kids. And this is the way that these entities that we hold within us, that, that are riding our ships, is able to keep living as long as they live. But everything, everything kind of comes and it goes. So, like, it's almost a lot of the entities that started off in the beginning, like they either left or they died off, or we switched their names and they became something else, but it was the same entity, the same energy that existed within us, that's just jumping from body to body.
Thoughts arise, linger, and disappear like clouds crossing an empty sky. Do not engage with the thoughts. Do not push them away. Simply watch. After some time, you will notice that there is a space between thoughts, a gap where no mental activity occurs. This gap is not emptiness, it is fullness. This is the doorway to the monad. Ancient practitioners learned to extend these gaps, to rest in the spacious awareness that exists before thoughts crystallize, and in that rest, they touched the infinite. The Gnostic text known as Allogenes describes a visionary ascent through the aeons of the pleroma, each level representing a deeper recognition of divine reality. But the text makes clear that the ultimate realization comes not through visions or experiences, but through a complete cessation of all knowing. The practitioner must transcend even the highest aeons, moving beyond Christ, beyond Barbello, beyond every form of manifestation, until only the monad remains. And in that moment, the distinction between the practitioner and the monad vanishes. There is no one left to know. There is only knowing.
Look, if your pineal gland is throbbing right now, you understand what's being said. Like, I hate that, because every time once I start listening to certain stuff, my shit just get to going womp, 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 womp. It like damn near start burning. You feel me?
Itself, being itself, the pure I am that has no object, no quality, no characteristic that could be named or described. This is what Jesus meant when he reportedly taught his closest disciples to become passers-by, a term that appears in the Gospel of Thomas. A passerby does not cling to form. A passerby does not mistake the content of consciousness for consciousness itself.
Exactly. And like, that's what you start to become. You start just to become this thing that lets everything kind of flow through you. You feel me? You stop trying to become all these different things that we expect it to become.
A passerby moves through the world of appearances without being trapped by them, recognizing that all forms, from the most exalted divine being to the smallest grain of sand, are temporary expressions of the one eternal monad.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, you get to the point to where you don't be trying to hold on to what we call spirituality or what we call consciousness. You don't try to hold on to nothing no more. It's like you just kind of just move through it. Like, you let it happen, like, but you don't try to make it seem like, okay, now I got to be stuck in this thing right here. I got to keep doing this so I can stay stuck in this certain feeling, because everything becomes like a drug after a while. That's the wild thing about it. It becomes like a drug. Now it's something that you got to use every day. It's all almost like shooting a needle in your arm. Now every day you got to shoot up in order so you can get that divine feeling over and over again, because you feel me? It never was, the divine feeling was just a feeling. It come and it go. You feel me? Now you're trying to be it, trying to live in it and do all these different things. I got to listen to this. I got to constantly keep studying. I got to keep on, you feel me? And it's like, what the fuck, bro? You don't have to do all that. You really don't. You can. I'm not saying it's anything wrong with it, but you don't have to, because it's just something that comes and goes. You feel me?
You are not here to improve your position in the world of forms. You are not here to achieve spiritual status or accumulate mystical experiences.
Exactly.
You are here to remember what you have always been, the monad itself, playing the cosmic game of forgetting and remembering, hiding and seeking, losing itself in infinite forms and finding itself in each moment of recognition. The implications of this understanding are staggering. If you are the monad, then so is every other being you encounter. The stranger on...
Exactly. Every other being, not just you. Everybody is this thing. Like, even though we don't want them to be, we want people to be NPCs. You feel me? You gotta create the NPC for somebody to be it. We want everybody to be outside of what we think ourselves is, in order. So like, it's almost like it's a high for us. It's a high to think that we're above anybody else that's in reality, and we're really not. But it's a dopamine. It's like doing some coke or something. You feel me? Because once you put yourself above that person and you get that feeling that make you feel like, oh shit, I know something, then you're gonna start doing everybody. you're gonna keep that high going. That's gonna be your fix. That's gonna be your fix.
The street, the person who irritates you, the ones you love, the ones you fear, all are the same source, wearing different masks, playing different roles in the grand drama of existence. This realization naturally gives rise to what the Greeks called agape, and the Buddhists call bodhicitta, a love that is not based on personal preference or emotional attraction.
I just was talking about that the other day. We was talking about that, the unconditional love. Love without conditions.
But on the direct recognition of shared essence. When you see past the mask of personality, past the stories of separation.
Hey, and you hear what he said? He said, when you see past the mask. See, I didn't even understand that's what I was doing. Remember, I was talking about this a while ago. I said, dang, when I talk to people now, I'm not talking to their outer body. I'm talking to that source, that thing that's there inside of them. That's the same as me. I'm not looking at their outer appearance. You know, like it was this guy I was talking to on the bus the other day. Oh, like, look, I love everybody, but sometimes, look, white people, when y'all have interactions with black person, like, we don't bring up racism. Why y'all always got to say something like, yeah, I had this one friend, and somebody used to say racist stuff to him. It's like, man, we don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Okay, like, why are you even bringing that up? I know you ain't. I ain't saying you racist. I know you probably ain't, but it's like, you kind of make me feel uncomfortable when you do that. And like, this is what this guy is doing. You feel me? He's cool as shit. We had good conversations, but that's why I can see the inner him and talk to him and stuff. But then he started bringing up stuff like that, and it just kind of makes me uncomfortable. And it's like, bro, you don't even got to say that. Like, keep that to yourself. Keep it over there or something. I don't even know why people do that. Like, don't stop doing that shit. That shit is annoying. All right. If me and you are having a conversation, you don't need to bring up, what your friend, your black friend, went through in some racist shit. All right. I already know. You don't got to tell me. I didn't lived it. I didn't seen it myself. I didn't been it myself. So it's like, let's just keep it cordial. Okay. I grew up. Hey, I'm just saying, but I get that a lot, bro. And it just would be crazy. But I didn't know that that's what I was doing, that I was unmasking reality by just, seeing that inner being of us and talking to it instead of seeing that outer structure and talking to it. You feel me? I never knew or realized that that's what I was doing. But I'm glad it said that, because that's what I was doing. Hey, bless, that shit's crazy, bro.
You recognize yourself looking back from every pair of eyes.
Yeah.
The archons, those powers that the Gnostics said rule this material realm, do not want you to remember this truth. Their power depends on your forgetfulness, on your identification with the limited self that can be controlled through desire and fear. The demiurge, that ignorant god who believes himself to be the supreme power, cannot...
This is crazy, bro. Yeah, I see no color neither. This is crazy, the demiurge. And it's like, I guess that's why people be telling me this. And they like, because I never really read about the demiurge. And people be explaining it to me because, like, some of the things I seen, that's what it seemed like, that thing was in control. But still, though, I think we don't understand, like I said, that thing is us.
Comprehend the monad, because
Everything
to comprehend would require transcending his own limited perspective, and this he refuses to do. So he and his archonic servants work tirelessly to keep consciousness trapped in identification with form, with body, with the endless cycle of craving and aversion that the Buddha called samsara. Every advertisement you see, every social pressure to conform, every voice that tells you that you are not enough, not spiritual enough, not successful enough, not worthy enough. These are echoes of the archonic agenda to keep you asleep to your true nature. But the monad calls to itself. You cannot permanently forget what you truly are. In dreams, in moments of beauty, in the sudden silence that sometimes descends without reason, the memory stirs. The Gnostics called this anamnesis, unforgetting, the recognition of what has always been true, but was temporarily obscured. This is why their path was not about salvation in the Christian sense, not about being rescued by an external savior, but about gnosis, direct knowing, the immediate...
the direct knowing, which is crazy as hell, bro. It's crazy. I'm gonna stop this right here though. This video is deep though. Like wow. Like it's kind of weird when you see things because there really isn't no path. But I guess the path to your understanding, you're gonna see what you need to see in order to get you where you need to be at, or where you feel you need to go, like in every sense. Like, and I think that's another dope thing. That's another dope thing because you start to see that you're creating it. I hate to say it, but on that note, I gotta go, y'all. I gotta get ready, go to work, but I had to come in, share this. And like I said, yeah, I'll be back the same time tomorrow. It's gonna be early on Monday through Wednesday, and then on Thursday and Friday. I think I want to do open. I want to do like to where I just like kind of open the channel up for people to just come in and we just have talks on Thursday and Friday. Like we can just watch certain videos, like even if y'all send me videos or something, and we can just watch them as a group and talk about it. And then on Thursday and Friday is where I just kind of open the channel and like people can just come in and we can just like chop it up about psychedelic experiences or whatever we decide to talk about, because it's always a beautiful thing. You feel me? We're all the same entity. So if you come in and you talk, you got to understand whatever this thing is, that's what it's doing. It's giving you that thing in order to come and share with us, because we're all the same entity. You feel me? And I think that'd be a beautiful thing when you come in and you share your experience, because it further lets us know we not going crazy. But yeah, peace out, man. Y'all have a good one. Thanks for joining. Make sure you hit that like button. If you ain't subscribed, sub up, man. And anybody that's up to the channel, like I said, when we have the Thursday and Friday night talks, anybody is able to come in. When I share the thing, you're able to come in when I share the link. Anybody, it doesn't matter. You feel me? So remember that, and y'all have a good day, and I'll see you next time. Peace out. Peace out.